And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
No, what do you call that one with Jennifer Lawrence where she's the trilogy?
Something with fire.
Yeah. What do you call that?
The one with all the Oscars and 200 billion...
Fight Forest or whatever it's called. What's it called?
I feel like I should say, I don't know what film you were watching.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle, Season 8, Episode 21, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have an old man who hates honest spam, like hot singles in your area want nothing to do with you. It's Mike McDonough. Also this week we have a special guest joining us live from the US of A, a lady, an author, a podcaster and a film critic. I hope that's in the right order. She tells us she's pretty sober, but prettier drunk. It's T.A. Cheney.
Thank you for that.
That's the equivalent
intro.
of a big, warm welcome. Yeah, thanks a million for coming
Thank
on.
you.
This week we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Age of Adeline, or Age of Adeline. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll debate it later.
Yeah, we will.
A girl walked home alone at night, and some TV in the form of Gallipoli. We'll also have some previews in Coming to a Bicycle near you. So how are we doing? Thanks a million for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Short
Thank you very
notice
much
and
for
all
asking
that.
me.
Yeah, great. About time.
I've been following you guys for a while, so
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, we've been dropping out like flies the last couple of weeks, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Would you believe...
I suppose podcasting is a contact sport now.
Yeah. Sean said that we should mention that he's missing, and it's kind of ironic because he's doing a summer class on Irish cinema, which means he can't record on Wednesday. So for the next couple of weeks he'll be missing again. But he mentioned that during all the movies that they're watching, that his American class fellows have requested subtitles for the Irish movie. Like The Crying Game and Michael Collins and so on. Which I can understand. But anyway, Mark is off playing bubble football, I believe. Mm-hmm. That involves being in a big bubble from the knees up.
Do they roll you down the hill?
And
Is that what they do?
or bubble soccer or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And
I'm envisioning somebody in a bubble rolling down a hill. So.
He is, yeah.
You wouldn't be far off it. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is, yeah. And, of course, Shauna's dealing with her own bubble at the moment. So, so she'll be back in a few months. So, if not beforehand. Hopefully we'll see her soon. We missed her. So, yeah. So, what did we see this week? Chalice. Mike, what did you see this week?
I've been quite busy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I saw, finally got 12 Monkeys finale, and I'm no wiser now than when I started the series. Yeah, they keep doing bloody time shifty things. Just when you think you got it,
Yeah.
they're kind of, oh, no, that's not going to happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm totally booked out for season 2. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to have an answer.
Is it renewed, do you know?
Oh, don't do that.
You
to
better
me.
check with Sean. Yeah.
Better check with Sean. I also had a second go of CSI Cyber.
Oh, did you? That's
Remember
cancelled, you know.
We had a look at it,
Yeah.
and we were appalled, shocked and appalled.
Yeah.
So I just didn't feel I'd taken enough damage, so I watched another episode
Yeah.
just to be sure, because I
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
actually finished the first episode that I watched.
Right.
And it truly was stunning. It had actually degenerated from when I had seen it first. And the amazing thing about it is the disconnect between the budget and the script.
Yeah.
Because you have it's obviously a really high budget thing. You know, they got famous actors and
Trish Arquette, yeah.
yeah, all this kind of stuff, and the script is so bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, where's my baby?
Oh, really?
and then they start giving you backstory, and at that point of the episode, you know, I started to think to myself, would it be more traumatic to get punched in the face by Floyd Mayweather and watch any more of this?
It's a close call, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen any of this, DA?
No,
No.
I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Although I'm not surprised at the shocked and appalled. I think I hear that every episode. That should be your catchphrase.
DA, I believe that you have been watching a few things this week.
Yeah, actually Netflix just released last Thursday, I think, they just released a weekly show called Between. There's only one up at the moment. Looks like it's going to be, obviously, every week, every Thursday. The first pilot is called School's Out. It's about basically some sort of disease strikes a small town in Canada. I think the Pretty Lake is what they call it. And the teenagers, there's a bunch of different people in it. So it basically takes a point of view from some teenagers, some people in prison, which is actually kind of ironic because the whole episode ends up being a little bit like everybody's in some kind of hell or jail or prison or something or other. Yeah, it's interesting. I actually enjoyed it. I'll be watching more of it. There's no information yet in terms of what the actual disease or epidemic is running through it, but they basically have this 10-mile quarantine zone around the entire town, and it's a little reminiscent of Under the Dome. Okay. But without the dome, people can actually get out if they want to, but they'll get shot pretty much. So, you have a pregnant teenager whose water's about to break. You have pretty much, I think there was 8,000 people in the town, but like by day 10, this is all in the pilot, but like day 10, you have like almost half the population's already deceased. So it's interesting.
Oh, I see.
And
Sorry. Yeah. So they're under quarantine. Yeah.
So are people eating each other's faces off, or
no, nothing like that? Yeah, it just seems to be some mysterious disease where people are just dropping dead like flies. And they're trying to figure it out, but they don't know what it is. And you kind of get this basic idea that maybe they're just going to obviously quarantine the town to make sure everyone dies. You know what I mean? They don't seem to be, at least in the pilot, too interested quite yet to figure out exactly what's happening, except for the people in the town who want to get out, of course. So it's interesting. The dialogue's pretty clever. I laughed a couple times. I mean, that's not difficult for me. I'm a pretty easygoing person, so laughing's not that difficult for me. But, I enjoyed it. It wasn't as stilted as, say, Under the Dome, which I did enjoy, but I basically jumped off like 3 episodes into that. So, this seems to be in a better course. Let's put it that way. I'm enjoying this a lot more. So I will check out, when it releases again this Thursday. So that's called, Between. And there's not really, I'm looking at it, and it doesn't seem to have anybody in it that I actually recognize. It kind of seemed to be, I mean, and I apologize to anybody who's in it, who has seen it, but I haven't, so I don't recognize anybody that's in it.
What's the demographic? Is this aimed at? Is it a young adult or?
Well, it seems a little bit more than young adult, but then again, it seems to kind of be grabbing maybe that 20s to 30s crowd. It's not too young, but it's not too old. Again, you get the high school teenager who's pregnant, which, a lot more of those high school teenagers are getting pregnant these days, which is kind of sad. But, with that, and then you, have somebody in prison. So, I mean, it seems to be scaled quite a bit. I mean, it doesn't seem to be, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen an elderly couple in there yet, but I'm sure that there are some in there. I mean, there's a crew there's only 8,000 people in this town. There's no way I saw everybody in the first episode, so.
Okay, cool. Okay. I continued on, watched more of Silicon Valley.
Did you?
Season 2, yeah.
Oh,
it's great.
You're a sucker for it, aren't you?
It's great. Yeah. It's so funny. It is so funny. And I don't know if it's because I'm familiar with the industry or not, but I love this. I think it's so clever. It's very silly at times as well. There's a lot of, let's say, personal interaction joke and personality clash joke.
Kind of Dilberty or...
Yeah, actually, you know what? When it comes to those kind of jokes, it could be any industry, kind of way. It's not necessarily nerdy joke, but it's very, very funny. It's very clever. It's great. It's great. And, I hope they just keep producing them. I want 24 episodes a season, kind of way.
16 seasons.
I know, exactly, yeah. Wayward Pines, went back to that again, and, episode 2 is as good as episode 1.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. The momentum is kept up, and, I'll watch more of it. Yeah.
Have you any idea what's going on?
Not so much what is going on, what the background story is, but the foreground story is developing nicely, let's say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, DA?
No, I apologize. I was going to say, I actually read the book, so it's probably a trilogy, by Blake Crouch, and I actually read the first. So I haven't seen the show yet, but I'm interested to see how close it is to that first book. I haven't read the rest of the trilogy, so we'll have to see how it ends, but at least I know how it begins.
Yeah.
It does come across a little booky, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you know what?
Like it looks like there's a big story behind this.
Yeah, there's a couple of similarities with other stories that we've seen. Obviously, we've seen so many.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of Under the Dome. There's a bit of Lost, and there's a bit of
Prisoner.
No, what do you call that one with Jennifer Lawrence, where she's the trilogy?
Something with fire.
Yeah, what do you call that?
The one with all the Oscars and 200 billion.
Fight Forest or whatever it's called. What's it called? What's the name?
The Running Game.
No, not the Running Game.
The Mocking Hunter.
Oh, that's it. The Mocking Fight Forest, isn't it? What's it called?
You've actually knocked it out of my head now.
The Hunger Games, yes.
Hunger
Got it. Jesus, yeah, the Hunger Games. Yeah, so it reminds me a bit of that as well. Yeah, Fight Forest, I was right. Yeah. So it's good. It's good, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Is it worth the wait, DA?
I think so. Like I said, I only read the first book. I think so. I mean, depending on how they go about it, if they do all the first book in the first season,
yeah,
or not, or how are they to end up doing it? Because they always change something in the story, in the books, or whatever it is. They always change things, so you never completely quite know how it's going to go when they turn it into TV or movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think so. I mean, again, it has kind of this Twin Peaksy kind of tone to it, and that's the reason why I picked up the book to start with. Mm-hmm. So I'll be interested in checking it out, but I haven't had any kind of chance to check it out yet. But I keep hearing it's pretty good, and of course I hear you guys talking about it, so I know I want to
heavily
see
recommended by his.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, the last one.
What?
Ross Nagalve.
Oh, Rossi Nagalve.
Yeah. Tell us what's that and what's it about, and
that's actually
why should we be watching it, Mike?
It's an old show. It was 2012, I think.
Yeah.
But I only happened to see it by accident recently.
Okay.
So I was kind of just catching up. It's Irish language comedy drama. And it was set. It's set around the big race meeting that we have every year, the Galway races.
Yeah.
And it basically is gangsters, corrupt politicians, geegaws, dumb cops. And it's in the tone of like the Savage Eye or Father Ted.
Oh, right, brilliant. Yeah.
It's all exaggerated stuff with the occasional normal person put in to illustrate just how deranged everybody else is.
I get you, yeah.
But as I said, I only watched it by accident. I hadn't even heard of it before, but myself and the young lad were just sitting there pissing ourselves laughing. It really is a very funny show.
Where can we see it?
I had recorded a rerun.
Okay.
But I have a funny feeling they'll rerun it fairly regularly.
It's on TG Carr, I presume,
yeah. And I believe there's a few of those internet TV archive sites that have, back episodes stored. If you
cool.
Google for it online or whatever. And there are subtitles.
Okay, so let's kick off with the first of our movies, which was the Age of Adeline. Adeline? It doesn't sit right with me. Adaline.
Yeah.
Adeline.
Yeah.
At least that's how they pronounce it. I think you can say it any way you want to.
Yeah. I guess it's our show. We can say whatever.
Yeah.
So this.
That's the problem with the English language, because you have Adaline, Caroline, but it could be Madeline. So Adaline, or it could be Geraldine. So Adaline.
Nice observation, Mike.
Yeah. So fuck this language.
Yeah.
It's totally illogical.
So this stars Blake Lively, Michelle Huisman, who we know from Game of Thrones. He plays Dario, what's his face, Naharis, and Harrison Ford is in it as well. So this follows the story of a woman in the 1930s who, like the best of superheroes, acquires a special something via an accident followed by a lightning strike.
Yeah.
Her special something takes the form of not aging another day. So she's kind of stuck at the age of 29, and she starts to encounter issues as the years go by. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So what did we think?
Well, I saw this movie And then afterwards, I watched the trailer. And then I kind of wondered, why did I watch the movie? Because it's all in the trailer. Virtually every important scene in the movie
Is
in
it?
the trailer.
I don't think I've seen the trailer. Is it really? Yeah.
It's madness. Whoever got that trailer should be shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. So
Really.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I must have a look at it later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you think of them, Mike? Did you fall asleep, Mike?
I have a track record for not liking this kind of movie.
Yeah.
With like emotions and feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Conversations and character development
Yeah.
and stuff
Discussion.
like that. Yeah. But strangely enough, I didn't find this as offensive as I expected. Largely because of the animal interest.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she likes her pets.
Yeah.
So that kind of got me on side a bit.
Yeah.
So I put the vomit bucket to one side and I tried to concentrate on the rest of the movie. And it was okay. Stop laughing.
It was okay. So were you shocked and appalled at yourself that you liked such a movie? Or?
I did. I felt kind of soiled inside. But, yeah, I mean, it's obviously got a lot of money in it. It's well shot. They got some big name actors. Harrison Ford doesn't come cheap, I hear.
Yeah.
I particularly liked Harrison Ford's younger persona
Okay.
because he had the voice spot on.
When he was Han Solo.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
Yeah.
He didn't look unlike him either.
Yeah, no,
You know,
I like
it was pretty
Tried
believable.
really hard.
yeah.
What? Yeah.
But the story itself, I think, even if you hadn't seen the trailer, it is kind of predictable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's predictable in a nice sort of a way.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a family movie that you just sit down and all go together.
Yeah.
So I won't be too harsh on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned, Mike, it's it's reminiscent of About Time, the time traveler's wife. I mean, you get the point of the time thing going on with this. I mean, she can't age, so she was born in 1908. So you think about just that span of time where she's loved and lost and loved and lost and rinse repeat. And this had the potential of being really cheesy. But I really liked it, actually. I mean, I do enjoy things like About Time and A Time Traveler's Wife. I mean, those are ones that kind of get you. And like you had mentioned with the animal perspective, I think that's the one point where I kind of felt a little bit of a tear prick in the corner of my eye. So, I mean, and that's what got me. And I think as much as, I mean, I enjoy romantic comedies or romantic dramas. As long as they're done well. I mean, I don't like every single one that's out there, but this actually I liked quite a bit. I felt, I'm a little not confused. I'm a little conflicted about how I felt about the voiceovers.
The narrator.
Because he came out of left field. He wasn't really a part of the story. He was just telling the story.
Yeah.
So I appreciated his background information. What I don't know is whether or not I liked, if you tell the story a certain way, you don't need a voiceover. You guys have seen Outlander enough to know that the voiceover in Outlander can get a little bit too much. She's basically narrating the stuff you see on the screen.
Yeah.
But this guy, the guy that is actually narrating the movie, for us, in certain parts, he doesn't narrate the entire thing, of course. You feel a little bit like you kind of maybe need some of that backstory because otherwise, without it, you might be a little bit lost.
Yeah, he was spoon feeding us a bit too much, I think, and it was almost in a sort of Dangerous Housewives narration or Desperate Housewives narration kind of a way, that just a little bit too much information.
Yeah, it may have been, but and again, it's because of the supernatural intent of what happens to her. I mean, I think the audience, whether or not. I guess it depends on who they're aiming it at. They're aiming it at the person who's never seen one of these before. They feel like they need to fill that person in. If it's somebody who's seen a million of these before, they think, oh my God, this voiceover is killing me and I hate this movie now. So I think it really kind of depends on who's watching this movie. And I think they tried to appease both of it because you never really know who that voice, is it her son? And in the future? Because they said something like 2030 or something. They'd figure out the reason for her accident. So who is this guy? and how is he important to the story? Is he important at all? I probably,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? He's not, because we don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But so I was a little conflicted about the voiceover. But I don't know. I really like this. Harrison Ford did such an amazing job. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like him in other stuff. He's an amazing actor. Well, you know, I mean, he's in Indiana Jones. I mean, he's as amazing an actor as you're gonna get for the types of roles he usually plays. But this is more dramatic. This is more emotional for him. And I was really kind of pretty happy to see that he wasn't just playing, you know, some, you know, I don't know, sci-fi Joe Schmo. I mean, he really did, like, he had some heart feels there, you know, as you put it. You know?
That's true.
Wouldn't it have been funny if he'd drawn his blaster and shot her?
Kill it! It's unnatural.
Suffer not the witch to live.
I don't want to give away his role now in this movie, but or talk about it even. But I thought he was great, and he does a great shaky, trembly guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he has that nailed, and I think we saw that in some of his was it Tom Clancy movies or John
yes.
Grisham? I can't remember which.
He did quite a lot of Tom Clancy movies.
Tom Clancy, was it?
Patriot Games and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, was that it? Because he used to get all hyped up and he got all trembly.
Yeah.
And just go, what the fuck, you know, arson, fuck. Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to like this at all, but it kept me intrigued. Not only the issues of her keeping her secret. Actually, that's another thing. I don't know why she wanted to keep her secret, that she wasn't aging. I just didn't get why. I didn't think it was that big a deal.
Well,
I know
they were going to kidnap her. Remember? Well, oh shoot. Okay, so
yeah.
you know, the event happened.
It's okay. It's in the trailer.
that was the bit.
Right.
That was the bit where the UFO came down. Was it? Yeah. So anyway, you know, it kept me intrigued. You know, like her issues of like meeting people that she knew in previous years and wondering why she looked so young. And then the issue that she didn't want to let anyone in because she'll age and they won't, and then she's living a life where she's no love, and you know, so on. Also,
That makes sense, though.
yeah, Ellen Burstyn was great as her daughter.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
not only was she good, but the script was really good around her, I thought, because it really convinced me that was the case, despite her being 50 years older looking than her, that she was still her daughter, you know, during their interactions, because you could see a maternal side to Blake Lively as well. And it's sort of...
Yeah, they could have really dropped the ball on that,
yeah,
couldn't they?
oh, totally,
Yes.
yeah. And it's sort of like my head believes it, but my eyes don't. You know, that kind of, you know, it's such a role reversal, you know.
It's kind of like the end of like Interstellar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
You get that.
She played
it
the same
worked
scene.
better here.
The same character. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blake Lively is not only very easy on the eye, I have to say, but she was brilliant in her character. She's very convincing. You know, she is obviously a young lady, obviously playing 29, but she had that maturity / elusiveness / older soul feel about her, and I think she kept it very well and kept it together. You know, you just would have thought that if you didn't know the backstory, you'd have thought, okay, there's something different about this girl. God, she was just so nice.
I couldn't have
such a
seen
nice person.
I couldn't have seen, say, Jennifer Aniston pulling this off.
No.
No, she'd be too busy flicking her fringe. You know, trying to see out from behind it. Like Feckins. Anyway. But yeah, Blake Lively, absolute score in the casting there. Yeah.
I agree.
She was great. Yeah.
Speaking of casting, what was the reaction from your good lady wife to the love interest?
Oh, sure. Oh, it was so funny. She goes,
She's got a type, hasn't she?
wait. She goes, you know your man Michelle, who's not, yeah, I do, yeah. Do you know he's 33? No, I didn't Google him. You did, obviously. She said, yeah. I said, but I do know what age Blake Lively is. That was fair enough, you know. Yeah, he's a bit of a home call, right, you know, in fairness.
And not so long since Poldark came out, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Swarthy, dark.
But oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Not unlike. But wait, Mike, what did you think of the dresses? The dresses are a talking point in this movie.
They didn't appall me.
They were fabulous dresses, Mike.
There were some fairly fabulous dresses. I preferred more the period ones.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
the point I was going for. They
Yeah.
matched the period with the dresses, and
Yeah.
Jesus, they were fabulous dresses.
Yeah, some of them, it was a bit like...
Spoken by the men. Spoken by the men.
I'm waiting for you to chime in here. This is bait, you know. Yeah.
Fine. Dario Naharis is gorgeous.
Yeah. What do you call it? Mark, also, who I know is listening, or will be listening, will love this, and I know he's going to cry at least twice. He loves these kind of movies. Yeah, so my only bad points of this was the narration.
Yeah, I said I was conflicted. That's a tough one because, like, did it need it? I almost feel like sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. And again, you don't know who the heck is supposed to be talking. I had one problem with, well, other than the conflicting narration, problem I had is, how old did we say she was? 28?
28, 29, something like that, yeah.
And there's that end scene, and I won't give it away, but
Yeah.
that end scene where she's looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen when you're 28. So that was my one little gripe, but my God, it's not big enough to really make a big deal about.
It doesn't happen when you're 28.
No.
Ah, come on.
Does it happen when you're 28?
Yeah, when I was about 22, I think, yeah.
Alrighty.
It's not my cup of tea, but
Right.
for what it is, I think they did it quite well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to step outside my normal bitter and twisted self.
Yeah.
You are? Really? Holy crap.
As an objective observer, it's probably a 7.
A 7?
Yeah. Even though it's not something I would ever watch
Ah.
unless somebody put it on a list and said, Mike, you have to watch this stuff.
I'm going to go with a 6 on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very generous of you, sir.
Yeah, I thought it was above average. There's no big twisty thing that you don't see coming, really.
No.
But no, it's quite enjoyable. Yeah. Jay.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go with a 7 on this as well. I mean, this is something I can imagine. I mean, I'm not gonna run right out and buy it right away, but I think eventually it's something that's gonna end up in my library. Simply, it came down to, like you guys were talking about, the acting, the people in it, the emotion behind it, and this is something that I could just pop on in some, lonely little weekend or something, where I'm like, oh, I just
Cry
need a good
yourself to
cry
sleep.
movie or something.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe not. Yeah. Look at AKA Dario Naharis a little bit longer. Who knows what his fate is in Game of Thrones. So, no, I seriously, I enjoyed it, and this is something I can imagine on my shelves.
Yeah.
But 7.
Could end up a Christmas movie, actually.
I could, actually. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street or whatever.
Yeah. 7.
Maybe they should have waited to put it out, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, so while we're talking about Michelle Huisman, so is he a better replacement for Ed Skeirin?
That's the funny thing. I actually kind of like the odd look of Ed Skeirin, as that's how you're saying his last name.
Skeirin?
I like, because, I like that long, he looked goofy, don't get me wrong, but he was a good Game of Thrones goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, short hair, he'd look like a goofball, but that long, the flowing long hair, that whole thing, and it actually kind of worked for him, and I'm coming to like him a lot more, in the role, Yeah, I think he's an adequate substitute. I like the first guy, but I don't necessarily mind him stepping in when he did. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, wait, who's that? Who's that? Wait a minute. Yeah, you kind of had to go, what?
Yeah.
All right, okay, and then you kind of, but he kind of fills in the shoes. I think he does a pretty good job. What do you guys think?
Well, Mike wouldn't know.
We're not allowed to discuss this season.
Sorry.
Yeah. It was just one character, actor replaced.
Actor.
So, but its character's still there. So
It's
anyway.
okay. I understand that you're not trying to destroy the season for me before
No.
I have a chance to watch it.
Yeah. So tempted. Anyway, you've read the books. I can't destroy it for you. Okay. So moving on, let's talk about the first of our TV, which is Gallipoli. Mike, do you want to tell us about Gallipoli?
Once upon a time, there was a big fight in Turkey. And it was recently the 100th anniversary of that big fight. So in honor of that, they decided to make a miniseries.
A miniserie, yeah.
Commemorating it, and especially from the perspective of the Australians and New Zealanders, or Anzac divisions, who lost quite a lot of people at that time. So it's basically World War One, an attempt to hit the Turkish-German alliance through Turkey. I believe Winston Churchill had a hand in it, not one of his finer moments. And a bunch of Australians, New Zealanders, some British and Irish went to Turkey, charged up a hill, found machine gun nests at the top, and got butchered for about 7 or 8 months. So this is their story.
This is an 8-hour series, actually.
Yep.
And it took them 3 years to make it.
3 years?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. This, as Micah said, it's a story of the event.
Yeah.
But in particular, this series tells the story of 17-year-old Thomas Tully Johnson as he joined the army underage to follow his brother to war.
Yeah.
And he's an Australian guy, obviously. So, so it follows the Anzacs as they get hammered and all the decisions behind that. Yeah. So, anyway, what did we think? DA, what did you think of this?
Well, I got a little bit of Band of Brothers feel from it, but I think that happens a lot when I watch these types of movies, or shows rather. And I only did watch the first episode. I have not watched the entire stretch. I kind of got a little bit of a chuckle every time the actor playing Thomas, he kind of looked goose-eyed at the he kind of like would stare off, this goose-eyed look in his face, like, I don't know what's going on. I kind of laughed a little bit about that. I mean, I wasn't really emotionally invested in his character. I tried, but maybe it's just because it was just the first episode and I didn't see more of it as yet to make more of a decision. But I felt like some of the cuts from the action to like the ships where all the command was, I felt that was a little disjointed. It felt a little, I don't know. I kind of felt like it kind of pulled away from some of the action that I was seeing.
Yeah.
I thought some of the cuts to the backstory actually were more disjointed.
Oh, totally.
Than the Navy stuff.
Yeah. I think you're right. They should have shown all of that at the start.
Yeah, just get that out of the way. Here's our backstory.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
But, I do agree that the switching back and forth land and sea did sometimes interrupt. Did you notice the general?
Yeah, I did.
Did you notice he was in Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I did.
I didn't catch that. But did you see James Callis?
I didn't notice.
Okay. I don't know what I saw. I don't know. And I watched the first episode. What I saw was an hour. So I don't know if they took two and put them together, because I noticed some other ones seem to be around the 40 minute mark.
Oh, are they?
But,
all right. Okay.
Yeah, James Callis from, what was it? Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
He walked on and I went, we're in the Cylons! Oh my God! I mean, I was kind of like, okay. Watching people die, okay. Oh my God! So I got really excited at that point. So, but he didn't bring the Cylons.
It was a bit of a slow start in this, wasn't there?
There was. I mean, there was at least 3 or 4 minutes before anybody got shot.
What I mean is, it took a long time to get around to the whole point of the thing, It wasn't like we're giving out that they didn't do all the backstory at once. I wonder would that have killed it altogether then?
Maybe. You wouldn't wait a minute.
Because even the backstory is sort of like, so he can shoot rabbits. I wonder where that'll come in handy. And. That kind of thing. And actually, there's some funny bits in it. I don't know if they're intentionally meant to be funny or not, but that poor old sergeant that has to run up and down being the messenger guy, it was just like he's up at the top of the hill and he's sending a message down to the bottom. So this is pre-walkie-talkie days, so he has to run all the way back down. Tell the guys back down the beach, which is like several miles of 45-degree angle. Yeah. And then they go, So tell your man this, and then come back to us. It's just, Jesus. Yeah. And so he runs back up, and he's after being shot in the back in the meantime. So he runs all the way back up, and he's to run through a load of people shooting at each other and all the rest of it, and all the way back up to the top. And your man goes, yeah, that's fine. Tell him to come on up. And so he's to go back down again. Oh, yeah, and bring ammunition and water as well while you're at it. And he's just, he's just in a heap at the end of it. Torture. Because he's running on sand as well, it's just, But anyway, that was sort of one of the lighter moments I thought.
I thought they did quite a good job of, putting across the point that fighting people with guns is a really dumb idea. Like, you could get killed doing that shit.
And if you stand around just talking, you might get sniped really quickly.
Or charging people who have guns and are hiding behind rocks.
That's a terrible
I was
idea.
looking at it going, no. I would is that the first thing that came into it? I know what we'll do, we'll run straight at them.
They'll never see it coming.
You just pray I don't get hit.
If enough of us drop down dead in front of them, the rest will get through, It's Anyway.
And actually, I thought the setting was quite good. I think it was actually filmed in Australia.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but
I thought it was in Gallipoli.
No, it was set in Gallipoli, but they filmed it in Australia.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But everything there looked sharp, scrapey. Nasty. Could you imagine diving for cover and that shit?
Yeah. Actually,
just ruin your uniform.
What else do we need to say to you on this? They really portrayed as the British command as a little bit clueless and a bit crap. And a bit too obsessed with themselves rather than what was going on. We'll just march in here and be,
Yeah. I must say, I quite enjoyed that aspect of it.
Well, we did it before. We've walked through blah, blah, blah. It's sort of that, I don't know, sort of pompous approach.
Yeah. I just loved watching Sir Walter and his buddies, quaffing sherry as they debate how many thousand men are going to get butchered today.
Yeah. So I thought this was well written, well acted. Give it a thriller.
Yeah.
I think I will watch more. Just actually more out of interest in seeing any detail that I don't know about Gallipoli.
For me, I think I would go with filler. I honestly, until James Callis showed up, I was really again, it was just kind of okay. I mean, it's not my thing. I don't mind history shows. I mean, I'll watch Turn, I'll watch Outlander, I'll watch those types of shows, but those are all, it's easier because they can throw anything they want in because that's all fiction. You know what I mean? So, and I don't have a problem necessarily with war stories. But this, I don't know. I just, I couldn't find the emotional engagement in what I had seen to really want to, have me watch more of it.
Yeah. And that's probably exactly why I do want to see more of it. It's the historical aspects rather than the...
Tell me if the Cylons show up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mike.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with this one because it is the kind of thing that I normally enjoy. But as DA pointed out, the characterization was a bit weak. I did find it a real struggle to care about the two lead characters.
Yeah.
Some of the officers, on the other hand, I thought were really well done, and I did enjoy them.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping as the season goes on, they'll either have the two lead characters killed off, or find some. What are the odds of that? Game of Thrones got away with it.
Well, then, someone's going to turn up with a divining rod to try and find them. Anyway.
You're such a bastard. So I'm going to give it a provisional thriller. It's just about snuck over the line for me.
Okay, provisional thriller. Okay, second of our movies is Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. This is the
What's that about, Steve?
This is the directorial debut for Anna Lily Amirpour. It's set in a fictional Iranian city called Bad City. It follows the story of a James Dean-like 57 T-bird driving protagonist, Aresh Marandi, who lives with his heroin-addicted father, although they never say heroin. They just call him a junkie, but it is
medicine.
Heroin. Medicine, yeah. He comes into contact with the girl, who is, that's all she's known as, actually, during it. played by Sheila Vant, and an interaction of sorts develops. Yeah. So, so this is shot in black and white, widescreen. And for a directorial debut, it's pretty fucking cool, actually. It's pretty excellent, I think. It gives a very sort of mature and experienced director feel to it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know this until I looked it up afterwards, and I wouldn't have had any idea. It looks like a seasoned, maybe art house director.
Yeah.
But Anyway, what do we think?
I feel like I should say, I don't know what film you were watching. It's not my cup of tea. I can appreciate a slow movie. I mean, I've seen Maggie. It's a little slow. I can appreciate a movie with subtitles. I can appreciate a black and white movie. I can appreciate crazy music in the middle of it, like a Tarantino movie. But putting it all together, I had a little bit of trouble keeping up with this. It's just not, it just didn't keep my attention. I had a hard time understanding her motivations, although it seemed to be good, bad, driven. Maybe the name of the city had something to do with the reason why she was there. I don't know. I didn't enjoy this as much. There was a few scenes that I found that were pretty. I liked the way it was shot. It did have some nice scenes. There's a shot where she's on a skateboard at one point, and it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine describing that? Yeah, this is an Iranian vampire that's a skateboarding vampire.
But that was such a cool scene. I liked it. At one point she's like kind of like cruising down the road, and she's got like this little cape thing, and that was really cool. And there's a few other shots of her in a basement just listening to music. And I mean, there were some really cute things going on, but it was a lot of staring and a lot of like long looks that I was like, what? I mean, and it's not to knock, it's not to knock the debut. It's not to knock anything. It's just not my kind of movie.
Tell me, have you seen any Ryan Gosling movies lately? Because
he smolders, right? He smolders.
But they're not. They have a lot of pauses in them. I don't think this one quite goes to town as like even Drive did on the whole pause thing. But
that's more words between pauses, isn't it?
yeah. But I felt that they kind of put good use to it in this. What do you reckon, Mike?
This is the latest in a long list of
here we go.
foreign movies that I watch because I feel sorry for Steve, because I know Mark won't watch them. But
you spoil me, Mike.
Although I hate to admit it, occasionally Steve does find good ones. And this one, I think this one's going to be quite divisive. I kind of liked it, but I can easily see how a lot of people, not mentioning Mark Leonard at all, would absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
For a start, it's not in English.
And it's not in colour.
No. Well, that's what kind of caught me, because I do really like black and white movies.
Yeah.
I think they lend that atmosphere. Although I wish your one hadn't just worn black and white all the time.
How do you know, though, Mike?
It was a juniper and mauve outfit.
He could have been wearing navy. We don't know.
I thought there was a great deal of style to it. The soundtrack was fantastic,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you know what? I looked it up today, and I was listening to it on repeat today. It's on YouTube. The playlist is on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And it's just got some brilliant tracks on it. 80s electro
and Sergio Leone.
And Kiosk, and all these. And there's some with electro pop with Iranian influences. That kind of thing. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant soundtrack. It's going to be released, I believe.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys are gonna hate me for this, but at one point there's one song she's playing, and he's in the basement with her, and she's playing it, and it's an English one, and I swear I had to look it up. It sounded like they were playing. You ever seen Jennifer's Body?
Yep.
The through the trees. I am a terrible singer. That's as far as I'll go. It sounded like Low Shoulders, Through the Trees at the very beginning. And I'm going, wait, is this the same singer? And I had to look it up because I'm like, it started so similarly. And I'm thinking, did I hear this before? It sounds like I'm waiting for Through the Trees and those lyrics aren't coming up.
They played almost the whole song. I thought that was one of the best scenes actually. Yeah. Not because of the song. Well, the sound of the song obviously adds to the atmosphere, but the fact that it was almost the culmination of what I thought might have happened, right? Or might, in my mind. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was great. There was a disco ball used to great effect, and then there's I don't know, just a great atmosphere in the room. I know it's a basement thing, and it's just almost a one shot, but it's long. Nothing is said, but they don't need to say anything. It's not like they're doing, especially in this scene. It's not like they're doing a pause for the sake of pause, but they just don't need to talk. In this one, because you're getting, there's this story development and there's, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I thought that was a great scene, actually. Yeah.
It's like music appreciation 101. I mean, it was a nice scene. It was nice.
Yeah.
I kept on thinking to myself while I was watching it, that this is what Sin City should have been like if they hadn't made a bollocks of it.
Stylistically.
Very stylized.
Yeah.
It was quite obvious, they'd set up these scenes so carefully.
Yeah.
Where's that cup being placed on the mantelpiece?
Yeah. No, it's pretty obvious I like this movie. All right. Yeah. But to cap it all, the title. It threw me. It threw me so much because the title, right? A girl walks home alone. Listen. A girl walks home alone in the dark. I said this to three people today, and I went, I don't think I'd like that. Yeah. And I said, you know why? Because immediately when you hear it, you assume that the girl is going to be the victim. Yeah, that she's going to be the victim. And it's like, how naive. It's just, I just thought it was a genius move.
Well, my problem with it was too long. You can't have a movie with more than 3 words in the title. Just doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the...
What if Star Wars was called A Young Lad Meets an Old Guy on an Abandoned Planet and goes off for a bit of an adventure? Just wouldn't work.
What about the one about the pigeon sat in the branch thinking about its existential existence or whatever it was? You remember that one a couple of weeks ago? Yeah. Pigeon sat in the branch reflecting on existence. Yeah. And it looks class, but it's very stylized as well. Yeah. It's a bit pretentious. Okay. Go on. Yeah.
We do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we do, yeah. It's because Mark isn't here. I knew he wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
It's a free-for-all, yeah.
We still love you, Mark.
Yeah. Actually, when Mark's not here, we should really start reviewing all the movies that he really wants to see this summer.
Bad man.
Just crap all over them from our height. Yeah.
So this is
from a big height.
Yeah, we give it a 2. So this
anybody who wants to see this is an idiot.
This is billed as the first Iranian vampire western.
Okay.
So that's a genre. And now it seems
a new genre.
It contains one movie. But I thought it was more sort of not horror, but more pulp.
Yeah, that is actually one of my big problems with the movie is that it wasn't scary enough.
Oh yeah, it wasn't scary at all.
Yeah. Like there's quite a lot of violence in it, but at no point did you ever kind of jump out of your seat and go, oh my god.
But the same could be said about that Swedish vampire movie that we watched that we loved. Do you remember that?
Oh, Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
That
wasn't scary either.
Well, there was a bit
scary.
Creep factor.
Sorry?
There's a bit of a creep factor when she's following people, and it's almost like, I mean, this is gonna sound odd too. There was there's a Mizaki. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. There is a cartoon version. It was called Spirited Away, and the character's called No Face, and it follows people around to kind of give them gold or give them what they think they want, and it kind of sort of like eats them if they accept it. So it kind of, in that way, even the way she looked, even the shroud that she was wearing reminded me a little bit of No Face. Cause I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So it wasn't scary, but that was a little creepy because she just kind of be like, following them. And I don't know about, I mean, that would scare the crap out of me if I was by myself and on a street, male or female, walking down the street and somebody's just following me, doing everything I'm doing. I'd be like, all right, time for me to go. There's no like turning around, looking, and if they get closer, I'm gone. There's big trails. Gone.
I thought that was brilliant. They'd start walking and turn around. She stopped, but closer as well. Yeah. The same amount. And I was just thinking, imagine me, nah. Yeah. Nah. And he just, nah. And you turn around and it's just closer again. Like Ninja Cat.
Yeah. Speaking of cats, great cat in this movie.
Oh, yes. That's something else. I knew you'd appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah. He looked almost exactly like my old fella, didn't he?
He did, actually, yeah. Fat boy.
Yeah. Except an extra leg.
Yeah. I don't know. No cat needs 4 legs.
Yeah. That's just showing off.
That's just showing off. Yeah, it's the likes of you. Look at you there. Thinking you know it all.
The big man, yeah.
So, what else? Anything else to say about this?
No, I don't want to give away a whole lot.
Yeah.
Except to say it's going to be divisive.
Yeah. Why is it so popular, do we know? Why is it making such big noise? This kind of movie doesn't normally get this kind of traction,
Well, they're showing it in all the right places, like Sundance and places like this, with
Busan and Cannes and
where people want to see something a little bit different, so they can tell their party friends, oh I saw it at Cannes last week,
backstage passes and everything, man.
And then we booed Colin Farrell on the bus,
So it's not. It's not, it's billed as an Iranian movie, but it's filmed in the U.S. in Los Angeles, I believe.
California, anyway.
Yeah. And Bakersfield or somewhere like that.
Something like that.
With an Iranian-American cast.
A lot of the actors have been in some pretty big movies.
Yeah.
Like the dad, I think, was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
And, the drug dealer fella.
Yeah.
He was in Captain America Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
You had to love the sex written right across his chest. What is this guy
Actually, we should really talk about him. He was such a cool character too, But this is that's so at the start we had the James Dean look guy, the white t-shirt, the jeans, the dark glasses, and he drove a 57 T-Bird. Yeah. And then suddenly we've got this guy who's from a different decade. He looks like an 80s kind of... Vanilla Ice almost look, right?
Man, I haven't heard that for years.
I know, yeah. So he had the whole tracksuit open up thing thing going on, right? And then the music was a complete eclectic mix then, which sort of moved time around. So you don't actually know when it was, and you don't actually know where it was.
Yeah.
And I think it's better for that because they could do more. Rather than be tied into, well, if you're going to do it, if you're going to say it's in Iran, it's going to have to look like this, but it looked kind of American and Iranian. But there's also, he's in a club then, and the drugs are like
it seems like the only drug you can't get is booze.
Yeah. True story, actually, yeah. True story, yeah. So yeah. Do we want to mark this?
It's gonna be a 7, I think, for me. I enjoyed the movie. It's by no means a classic, but I have seen an awful lot worse shite lately.
Nicely put, Mike. So eloquently. DA.
He's so eloquent.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go middle of the road for me. I'm gonna go 5. I can appreciate what it was. I can appreciate what it, but I mean, there is no way, you can't just put this on and go, I'm gonna do homework, or I'm gonna do chores, or I'm going to put away the groceries. You have to be watching the screen every moment. You can't, you have to. So, and I don't mind. I mean, I've seen The Raid. The Raid does that with subtitles. I don't mind subtitles, but with this, middle of the road 5 for me.
This is one that Mark would hate because he wouldn't be able to do anything else while he's doing it. Yeah, he's a multitasker extreme. Yeah. Extraordinaire, I mean, sorry. And a bit extreme extraordinaire. But, I love this. It's not an 8, you're right, but it's a very, very solid 7. Okay. So last up, we've got some previews. Come to Bicycle near you. The first of the trailers this week is Cooties, which stars Elijah Wood, Alison Pill, and Rainn Wilson. So this is about a virus that breaks out amongst prepubescent children. Only affects them, turns them into zombies. Flesh-eating zombies. So Rainn Wilson and Elijah Wood and Alison Pill are teachers in the high school where it breaks out, and they're trapped there.
You can't eat the teachers.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be like a nice kind of funny family. The way the trailer starts, a family funny kind of movie, kind of
Home Alone or something.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Oh, the teachers, look at the food. Oh, it's terrible. Look at the teachers are so nice, and the kids bully them, and that kind of thing. And then it breaks out. You're like, holy shit! This actually looks kind of funny, but it's kind of funny in more of a Simon Pegg kind of way.
Yeah,
that kind of zombie movie.
But I this confuses me because I thought there was some kind of unwritten rule that you couldn't kill kids on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
This movie's blowing that out the window.
Yeah.
But it should be a bit of fun.
Elijah Wood's in it, so that's a plus factor. He's actually a producer of it as well, and while they were filming it, or rather getting the actors for it, they had like you said, Rainn Wilson's in it, and he looks extremely funny, by the way. But they were trying to get somebody for the role that Elijah Wood ends up taking, and Elijah Wood was like, "No, I don't want to act in this. I just want to produce it. I don't need to be in every movie that we decide to put out because he wants to be a producer as well." And I'm paraphrasing, of course. But at some point they just said, "No, you're perfect for this. You need to do this," and he's like, all right. Either they didn't find the right person they wanted, or they just kind of kept insisting that he do it. I don't know which, but I saw an interview with him at one of the festivals, and he was there with his other producers, and they were like, "Yeah, you were the best person for it." And so, it should be fun. If anything, he understands the character pretty well. So, there's no Frodo in this movie,
Yeah. By all accounts, he's a pretty sound man.
Is he?
Yeah, he was over filming.
Never met him myself.
No, well, actually, he was over filming something here in Ireland. I can't remember what it was. Escapes me now. But he was going down Grafton Street at 10 o'clock at night. Grafton Street is one of the main shopping thoroughfares in Dublin. And he bumped into a few lads and they said, "Hey, lads, do you know where, I'd get a bit of crack. I'm going, or a bit of fun, not crack. A bit of fun tonight,
Wrong word.
Just to make sure you're not getting the wrong idea there. So they said, "Well, actually, we're going for a few pints in this pub, and then we're going back for a party if you want to come along." And he went, "All right." And so he hung out with them that night, and they've a load of pictures with him and him with some cup. They were a football team. They just won some competition that day, a GAA team.
All right. So did they duct tape him?
No, they didn't duct tape him at all. No, they didn't have to. He came along quite willingly, and I was going to say had the crack, but no, he had a lot of fun that night. Yeah, Google it. It's quite a cool story actually. And they've been in contact with him since, and so on. So it wasn't just like thanks, see you, right? So it's sound man anyway. So the second one we looked at was Burying the Ex. So this stars Anton Yelchin, Ashley Greene, which Mike will remember from Twilight, and Alexandra Dario, who we'll remember from True Detective. Yes. So this is about Anton is going out as a girl, and he's moved in with her, and he's not sure that this relationship is going well, and he kind of wants to break up. And did he break up? No, he didn't break up.
He was just on the point of breaking up.
He was on the point of breaking up, and she gets hit by a bus or someone, and she's buried, and then he's going out with Miss Dario, and his ex-girlfriend sort of unburies herself and turns up. She's now undead. Yeah.
And getting more undeader as the
as the trailer goes on. So that's the premise. This looks like more fun than the previous zombie one.
Quite possibly,
than Cooties, yeah.
Because you can bring your own personal bitterness from former relationships into play,
Your own fantasies of what could have happened, what could have been.
Just imagine somebody else's face on the screen.
Maybe not quite so horrified that, they might be killing children on the screen.
Yeah. So this is going to be inane bullshit, but we'll have to watch it.
I know, I'd rather watch this one, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like more fun.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because killing kids does get old after a while.
But they're all good actresses and actors in this. It's a good cast.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a lot of fun, actually. Yeah. But just even have a look at the trailer, because when you see her become undead, it's just it's just funny. It's just really funny. Hard to describe it. Flies and stuff. Next one we looked at was Spy. Which is about a desk-bound CIA analyst. She volunteers to go undercover to infiltrate the world of a deadly arms dealer and prevent diabolical global disaster, says IMDb. This stars Rose Byrne, Jason Statham, Melissa McCarthy, Jude Law, and Mike's favourite, Marina Baccarin. Yeah.
Nice.
Looks fun.
It does look like fun, actually.
Yeah. Jude Law looks hilarious in this.
Yeah, and so does Jason Statham, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a comedy before. I don't remember him being in a comedy.
What about the Expendables?
Well, no, I mean a purpose-made comedy,
Yeah. It's. I think this is going to come down to your sense of humor. It's got that slapstick kind of silly thing going on. I kind of like that.
I'm kind of hoping Melissa McCarthy isn't a bit too much Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's played that character quite a lot recently.
Too much.
Yeah,
It's been too much. Hopefully she gets a little bit more range in that. They might have cut the trailer to show the humor, because that's the kind of followers that she has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's more than just that, because it kind of looks a little bit like Jason Statham and Jude Law might be. I mean, as wonderful as they are in other movies, this doesn't look like that kind of movie. It'd be nice to see that turned on its head. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Maybe Melissa McCarthy is just in a cameo.
I don't think so. I think she's one of the main characters.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
I think she may be the.
hopes.
I think she may be the desk-bound CIA analyst.
Yeah. I think that's a good bet.
And so the last one we looked at was Scream Queens. So this is after a 1995 sorority. Thank you.
Psoriasis? No.
Psoriasis, yeah, pledge gone wrong. Someone is out for vengeance when a college campus is rattled by a series of murders at the 20th anniversary of the crime. Yeah, says IMDb. This stars Emma Roberts of That Roberts Family, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Skylar Samuels.
There seems to be an awful lot of pretty people in this, and not a whole lot else, except kind of tributes to every slasher teen movie.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that
years.
Buffy didn't make an appearance in this.
You never know.
Sarah
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has that look.
Yeah.
Or maybe the people in it have that look that remind me of her.
Yeah, they're wannabe Buffys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A wannabe Buffy.
But they will never plow a crucifix through a man's chest with quite the same aplomb as Buffy did, you know?
So, this looks kind of silly.
Yeah, it looks crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jamie Lee
not
Curtis.
even Jamie Lee Curtis can say
come
this.
on.
Oh.
You're only just harking on about her assets recently, Mike.
She has superpowers, I'll grant you that. But, not even she can save this movie.
Yeah. I think you might be right. Yeah.
I've never seen this movie.
Someone puts it on a list, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that's all we're going to talk about tonight. Listen, DA, do you have anything you want to plug while you're on?
Let's see.
What are you doing at the moment?
I do a book podcast called The Shelf Life. So if you are interested in all, we do, but a friend of mine, Mike, his name is Mike as well, does a podcast called The Shelf Life, and we do about a monthly podcast. It depends on, what kind of, book that we're reading, but, certainly if you like to read, there's more people that, watch movies than, watch, TV shows, but, if you like to read, feel free to tune in and see if there's, books that you like, but you can find that, I'm on Twitter at DA_Cheney, CHANEY.
Cool. What else did I mean to say to you? Your film critique side. Where can we catch up with that?
Well, let's see. I also guest on the Slasher Cast, which is I'm not on there all the time. I'm not a regular. They do a side cast doing other movies that are not horror related, because Slasher Cast is a horror based podcast. So I do frequent their side effects quite a lot. And if you actually follow their Slasher Cast stream, you'll find the side cast in there because it's all one main stream.
Yeah.
I'm typically on a good share of their episodes there. So we talk about movies. So that's always fun to do.
Listen, thanks again. Thanks a million for coming on. Short notice and stuff. It's great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I didn't ruin your episode.
This is the first time, is it, that we haven't had somebody with an M or an S?
Oh, you're right.
Because it's always Mike, Mark, Steve, and Sean.
And Shona.
Or Shona. So how does DA fit in?
Oh, we'll find out.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for this week. So from Mike, Steve, and DA, stay classy.